I mean, I'm kind of pretty bullish on that. I'll kind of give a parlance where most people will relate to. This is like, in the 90s, late 90s and 2000, the services company kind of, rided the wave on BFSI, which is kind of the biggest vertical, right? So in BFSI, pretty much the services company had the biggest offering, made the biggest money, and they did everything from nuts and bolts, which is like building software pieces, sustenance work, maintenance work, testing, and whatnot. So now we are in a similar such curve, which is starting curve for the IoT, and it is probably going to be like, I don't know, anywhere between like 10 times to 100 times of that. And then anything you can pick in that and become like a valuable offering. I mean, you are going to do pretty well for yourself. The biggest advantage for Indian service providers, for people who do provide Indian software services, is the starting, the race, the starting is same for everyone. It's not like, when we started, IT was very small and we were lagging behind the IBMs and Accentures of the world, so we had to do really catch up. Now, our maturity models and everything is in place. And in fact, we are kind of starting to take a lead because of the rich startup ecosystem that we have. And people are investing in startups and everything. So the services people now understand that play, which is what, the Infi CEO is also doing, which is picking up a lot of future-looking startups. And I would kind of, like you pick anything in the software stack, horizontal, vertical, any kind of play, you are well positioned to rake in a lot of moolah. Any which way you kind of, whether you do plain services, you kind of merge any businesses, you acquire anything, or you kind of, set yourself up for whatever you want. So it's in the sky's the limit. I think here in India, I think the fund houses, we still haven't kind of got to really understanding and evaluating IoT companies. We are still kind of caught up in the Zopnows and big baskets. We kind of tend to think to understand that space more. At least we like that space more. So I think we will get there. The only barometer is what the US companies are doing. We still don't understand how people are going to make money here in the startups, what some of the business model challenges. I think once we kind of get a feel for that, I think valuations will fall in place. Standards going around. The Cisco, Qualcomms, and Intels, they are pushing their own standards for obvious reasons. In terms of protocol, MQTT is the most trending and happening protocol if you want to pick one. And then on the standards, Threads is kind of catching a lot of traction. So to answer your question, who owns the data, that is kind of the hotly debated one. I mean, because the data is flowing on the pipe, which is provided by the service provider, and it's like any other data that goes to and fro from your client to the web servers, right? But these data are sensor specific, which is like, your personal data, so to say. So obviously they can't share or use it unless there is a explicit consent. Have we kind of figured all that out? Are we there yet? The answer is no. This is being kind of hotly debated with all the service providers. They are trying to see how they can make money out of this, and how can they compensate you for the data that you're willing to share, and how will they use this data from all the sensors in the larger context, and how to monetize that. So these are all kind of work in progress at this point in time.